Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with another EDH gameplay brought to you by me and some good friends of mine. This week, I'm on the Prossh plan. Adam is playing his Derevi deck, Kevin is playing Grand Arbiter Augustin IV again, and Brian is playing Purphoros, God of the Forge. My opening hand consisted of Raging Ravine, Volrath Stronghold, Cultivate, Crop Rotation, Swamp, Taiga, and Cinder Glades. Adam's hand had Pact of Negation, Glenelendra Archmage, Flooded Strand, Willbreaker, Kadama's Reach, Forest, and Sword of Fire and Ice. Kevin decided to go with an Ancient Den, Ojutai's Command, Azorius Guildmage, Azorius Chancery, Mystic Gate, Restoration Angel, and Return to Dust. Brian keeps an opener with a Dragon Fodder, Krenko's Command, Splinter Twin, Mountain, Urabrask, Ruby Medallion, and Ashnod's Altar. Kevin wins the die roll, so let's get into the action. Kevin sets the tone of the first turn by playing Ancient Den and passing. Adam does the same, except this time it's Arid Mesa instead. Kevin offers to train his Ancient Den for the Arid Mesa, but Adam doesn't really go for it. My turn sees Raging Ravine hit the field, coming to play tapped. Brian makes it very obvious that he drew a land, and plays the mountain he just drew. Kevin's second turn sees a bit more action, with him playing Mystic Gate and then Azorius Guildmage. Adam, without a mana dork, plays a forest and passes turn. With no turn 2 play, I play Cinderglades tapped and pass turn to Brian. Brian draws another land, plays it, and then casts Ruby Medallion, passing to Kevin. Kevin plays Azorius Chancery for his turn, returning Ancient Den to his hand and passes to Adam. Adam's turn sees Flooded Strand hit the field. Cracking both fetch lands, he plays Kadama's Reach, gaining a land to the hand and land to the field. He passes to me. On my turn, I play a Swamp and cast Wood Elves, fetching Bayou to the field. Mostly thanks to the Ruby Medallion, and his third land for the turn, Brian sees a turn 3 Purphoros. Replaying his Ancient Den, Kevin casts Grand Arbiter Augustin IV. Adam's turn sees an island hit the field, and then he casts Sour of Temptation, taking Grand Arbiter Augustin IV, which no one's really happy about. I drop Taiga for my turn, and then cast Cultivate for 4 mana, which doesn't feel very good either. Moving to combat, I swing Wood Elves at Brian for 1 because, frankly, with Purphoros out, we kinda all know the pain train's coming. Angered by my bold attack on him, Brian decides to unleash hell on us by casting Krenko's Command and Dragon Fodder back to back, dealing all of us 8 damage. Having missed his land drop for the turn, Kevin is in an awkward position where he can't play anything, so he has to discard World Queller at the end of his turn. For his land drop, Adam plays Temple Garden untapped, taking 2 damage to the face. He's got a bit more action this turn, and he casts Derevi, which untaps a land, and then casts Glenelendra Archmage, leaving 1 mana open to be able to counter anything he needs. Moving to combat, he swings Grand Arbiter at me, and the Sour of Temptation at Brian. Gaining 2 triggers from Derevi, he untaps 2 lands. After combat, he passes to me. I drop a Swamp for my turn. So, here's a minor mistake which we realized afterwards. Prossh gets tokens based on how much mana you pay for him. I paid 7 and should have gotten 7 tokens, but since that never really comes up very often, I paid and only got 6 goblins this time. Brian skips his first main phase and moves straight to combat, swinging all the goblins at Adam. I approve of this plan, as with most games that Adam's involved in, he has to die first or we all lose. In response to Brian's attack step, Kevin, who's been holding onto a great deal of salt since Adam stole his general, taps down Derevi. Moving to blockers, Adam chooses to throw Glenelendra in front of one of them. Brian responds by tapping 3 to use Purphoros' ability to pump them. The Goblin token and Glenelendra trade, but she comes back with Persist, and Adam takes 6 damage. Missing yet another land drop, Kevin has to pay 3 mana for his Azorius Signet before passing to Adam. Adam also misses his land drop, but he plays Soul Ring, so it kinda balances out. He follows that up with a Willbender, who in Derevi is frankly disgusting. Looking to get his revenge, Adam swings all of his creatures at Brian, dealing 7 damage. Deciding to become the official fun police of the table, Adam takes a Goblin, Prossh, Azorius Guildmage, and untaps his Soul Ring. I also follow the trend of missing land drops because it's what all the cool kids are doing, so instead I cast Crop Rotation for 2, which is just not great, sacrificing a Swamp to go find Gaia's Cradle. Tapping Gaia's Cradle for what I think is 7 mana, but in reality it's actually 8, but whatever, it's not a big deal, I cast Beastmaster's Ascension. Surprisingly, this resolves without being countered. Partly because I'm an idiot, and partly because I'm excited to play Prossh, I forget that I had a land in my hand, so I play Volrath Stronghold. With this extra mana, I try and go big and cast Green Sun Zenith for like 1 billion, trying to go find Craterhoof Behemoth, but Adam counters it with Clenelendra Archmage. Moving to the combat step, Adam uses Azorius Guildmage to tap down my Wood Elves, which technically at this point we all know wouldn't have stopped me from killing him, but at the time I thought I only had 6 goblins, so it only gave him 6 counters on Beastmaster's Ascension. As an added bonus, Willbender steals my creature because of the activated ability being put on it. Things do not look good for our heroes. For Brian's turn, he plays a mountain and then casts Empty the Warrens without a storm count. He gets 2 goblins and we all take 4. Kevin, top decking like a boss, taps out faster than I've ever seen anyone and casts Supreme Verdict. As a nice guy, I decide to offer to help Adam deal with all those heavy creatures on his side of the field. Having had the table collectively pee in his Cheerios, Adam casts Sword of Fire and Ice and passes to me. I bounce back pretty well after that board wipe. I cast Oracle of Moldiah, play the mountain off the top, and cast Zulport Cutthroat. With my 4 remaining mana, I cast Sneak Attack, a lovely, lovely card. On his turn, Brian casts Urbrask finally. Again, we all take 2. Moving to his combat step, Adam uses Derevi's activated ability, tapping down Urbrask before he can attack. During his first main phase, Kevin casts Return to Dust, targeting Purphoros, and then there's a bit of a debate for the second target. In the end, Kevin picks Beastmaster's Ascension. Probably a good call. At the end of Kevin's turn, Adam casts Swords to Plowshare on Urbrask, and Brian gains 4. I explained to Adam the purpose of Magic is to get a player's life total to 0, not as high as you can. During his main phase, Adam casts Grand Abolisher. Not quite finished, he casts Time Twister, which probably costs as much as my deck does by itself. We all shuffle up and redraw 7. To add insult to injury, he casts Winter Orb after that, which is just... damn it, Adam. He swings at Brian for 2 and untaps one of his lands. His second main phase is interesting, as we see Edric hit the field. On my turn, I untap Cradle, reveal Ogre Battle Driver. During my main phase, I play Bloodstained Mire. I crack the fetch, taking 1 to go find my Badlands. Seeing Avenger of Zendikar on top of the library gives me an idea. I swing at Brian with my 2 creatures to draw 2 cards and deal 3 damage to him. In my second main phase, I play the mountain that I drew from Edric's trigger. With Sneak Attack, 2 red, and Gaia's Cradle in the field, my mind gets a percolating. First thing I do is tap Gaia's Cradle, dropping Earthcraft. Paying 1 red for Avenger of Zendikar is really, really good, especially when you get a bunch of tokens who can now untap your lands. With Avenger hitting the field, I gain 11 plant tokens. Tapping 8 of my plants, Prossh comes out and brings 8 of his own friends along. Using 4 more of my tokens, I untap all my basics in preparation for next turn and pass to Brian. On his turn, Brian casts Shattering Spree, which replicates itself, blowing up all of Adam's artifacts. On Kevin's turn, we realize that my Avenger of Zendikar should have died, so they all take 1 and I gain 1. Playing a land for his turn, Kevin recasts Grand Arbiter Augustin IV and passes. At the end of turn, I sacrifice 15 tokens, killing Adam and doing 15 to Kevin and Brian. I also gain 15, which ain't too bad. With Green Sun Zenith in hand, I start telling everyone how I'm going to kill them, but Kevin tells me no, don't worry, he's got this. Wanting to call his bluff, I cast Green Sun Zenith for 9, which Kevin packs of negation. Well played. With Kevin having ruined my plan A, I move to plan B, casting Parallel Lives for 5 and Bitter Blossom for 3. Moving to combat, I swing Oracle, Cutthroat, and Prossh at Kevin. Kevin responds by Swords to Plowsharing Prossh, and I respond by sacrificing my tokens. Kevin blocks the Cutthroat, and he and Brian take an additional 1. With nothing stopping the Oracle, he hits Kevin in the face. I pass to Brian. During his turn, he casts Goblin Recruiter, finding a bunch of goblins to put on top, and then casts Ashnod's Altar. With nothing else to do, he passes to Kevin. On his upkeep, Kevin has to pay the 5 mana for Pact of Negation, which effectively neuters his turn. He casts Call to Mind, returning Pact of Negation again, and passes turn. On my upkeep, 2 things happen. The first being using Volra's Stronghold to return Zulport Cutthroat to the top of my library. The second thing is I lose 1 life for 2 fairy tokens. On my main phase, I cast Zulport Cutthroat. Kevin nicely reminds me that it costs 1 extra, and then uses Pact of Negation to counter it. I play Overgrown Tomb untapped, taking 2 and a swamp during my main phase. Tapping one of my fairies to get the extra mana, I cast Prossh again. Moving to combat, I swing Oracle at Brian, who blocks with the Goblin Recruiter. On Brian's turn, he assembles a pretty powerful combo in the form of Goblin Sharpshooter and Basilisk Collar, but since it doesn't have haste, he can't really do anything with it. Hoping that Kevin can buy him another turn, Brian passes. Paying the 5 mana for his Pact of Negation, Kevin draws a card, sees what it is, and scoops. With no way to stop me, I kill Brian, and the game ends. Recap time. So I think this game was a really good highlight of Prossh, of Purphoros, and of Derevi. Unfortunately for Kevin, he got land screwed, which is ridiculous considering how many basics and rocks he's running, so it's just a matter of unluck. You guys are really unfortunate in not seeing how strong and how dumb his deck can be. Purphoros was really aggressive. Brian did a really good job of applying pressure really early on and exploding, but he wasn't able to follow up late game once Purphoros got taken away. Adam did really well with Derevi, but after that board wipe, he seemed to be kind of stalled. The Time Twister helped, but it really neutered a lot of our hands. We're not too sure what he had, but it didn't seem to be enough. My Prossh deck does what Prossh does. He's an inevitability, he's difficult to deal with, and the longer and more often he dies, the bigger and more powerful he becomes. I actually had a potential win con against Kevin that last turn where I could have cheated out Zulport Cutthroat instead of casting it, but in the end, it really didn't matter. I won, and that's what matters the most. Well gang, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's a lot of fun making these videos. They're a bit time consuming, but I feel like they're a lot of fun and they're well received. If you guys have any suggestions for more videos and stuff like that, let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you think. As always, thank you for watching, and be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe.